So, good evening, everyone. We are live and welcome to today's panel discussion. We will begin the panel discussion shortly. I am just waiting for people to join in. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's panel discussion on Viksit Bharat at 2047 Legal Foundations of a Developed India. As India sets its vision of becoming a developed nation by 2047, one request stands out. Can we truly achieve this without a strong legal foundation? Law is not just about regulations, it is the backbone of governance, justice, inclusivity, and equal opportunity. Today, we are joined by distinguished legal minds who will help us unpack how legal reforms, judicial efficiency, labor laws, and inclusive governance can shape India's journey to 2047. Together, we'll explore how law can not only keep pace with growth but also ensure that development is fair, transparent, and future ready. I will quickly introduce to you our panelists. So we have Advocate Lakshmi Maria, a legal professional with over 20 years of experience in litigation and intellectual property law, practicing before district courts, high courts, and the Supreme Court of India. We have Advocate Prashali, who is a legal professional with expertise in legal research, drafting, and forensics, providing high quality remote legal support with accuracy and professionalism. We also have Advocate Kush Brahmabat, who is an accomplished lawyer and a public policy advocate based in Vadodara. He has over a decade of experience in legal reform and civic leadership. We then have Advocate Adhiraj Surana, who has over 18 years of legal experience and is the founder of Adhiraj Devraj Surana Associates. He leads the firm's litigation and IPR practice and is a trusted legal advisor to PSUs, corporate entities, and emerging startups across India. Before we begin the discussion today, I request you to watch a small video about Rest the Case, please. Thank you so much.
In a world where time is precious, getting swift access to legal help shouldn't be a privilege, but a right. Welcome to Rest the Case, India's most trusted online platform for legal solutions. We are transforming the legal tech landscape, bridging gaps, and bringing legal support to anyone, anywhere, at any time. The legal field in India can be overwhelming. Courts are crowded, the search for the right legal help is confusing, and legal fees can be unpredictable. Many litigants face trust issues, uncertain about finding a lawyer who truly understands their needs. Rest the Case solves this by providing verified lawyer profiles, making it easier than ever to find trusted legal support. That's where Rest the Case steps in. From consultations to document drafting and court representation, our digital platform brings legal expertise to your fingertips.
So our tools will make life simpler for litigants, retail, by helping them reach the right lawyers. We are using GenAI, we are creating an improved matching system. And for B2B, which is for startups and mid-level corporates, we are helping them by doing tasks like document draft creation, also other aspects which relates to their internal process improvement.
Powered by cutting-edge technology, our platform leverages AI to match users with the most suitable lawyers. Based on expertise and location, from its start, Rest the Case has grown rapidly. With a presence across India, our mission is to provide legal accessibility everywhere, from big cities to smaller towns.
Our vision is to make legal support accessible and affordable for everyone in India. Our journey began in the lockdown, where suddenly people did not know what to do or where to find the right legal support. We then realized that this is not just a pandemic issue. This is an issue that people face every day and everywhere. That's how Rest the Case was born. We bridged the gap between a lawyer and a client to give them a reliable place to find the right legal help.
Rest the Case, because every case deserves the right support.
Thank you so much for watching the video. So I want to begin today's discussion by a question, which is, what do you see the role of law being in achieving India's vision of becoming a developed nation by 2047? And this is open to all the panelists. Anyone can take this up and begin the discussion.
Let us go with ladies first, please.
Okay, so I'm the only lady it looks like here. So the thing is that I mean, looking at 2047, I mean, let's look at that personally. We are all going to be a little bit 20-25 years older. And when I'm older, I would definitely like to see a different India. I would not want to be waiting for hours for my case to be called out. I would not want my litigant or my client to be waiting the whole day for his case to be called out. I do not want him to be I do not want to be carrying bundles of papers to the court. I don't want my client to be carrying bundles of papers to the court. I do not want to go to court. I want to be able to sit in my chamber and address the court. So there is a lot of difference in vision what lawyers are looking at. I mean, I'm not even talking about people who are in the age group of my seniors. They thought of a different India during the emergency. Today, that different India is here, and it's the work of more than a billion people. But 25 years, 30 years down the line, I would like to see a different system. I would like to see what is happening in some of the most developed nations in Europe. They go to court, and I know this for a fact because a lot of my clients tell me that they don't need a lawyer. They go to the court department, the registry gives them forms, they fill up the forms, they write their claims, they write what it is that they need to, they annex all their documents, and their date is set. So they get called to the court, and then the judge tells them, okay, this is your case, this is what you have annexed, you need to annex this, these are the points that you need to prove. There is an option over there as to whether you want a lawyer, whether you don't want a lawyer. If you want a lawyer, okay, please pay the fees. There's no compromise on the fees. Nobody compromises on their fees. And really speaking, if a lawyer is going to compromise on their fees, we are going to start wondering what kind of service people are getting. But that's a different aspect altogether. But the entire process needs to get easier. A litigant or a client or an ordinary person, I mean, look at for whatever. I mean, I have a ton of relatives who don't know what I do as a lawyer because they simply do not understand as to what we are doing here. Like today, I was in court, I just ran back. In fact, I was talking to another lawyer, and the first thing that I said is, we should be behavioral analysts, because we are not only analyzing the behavior of judges, we are also analyzing the behavior of clients, we are helping everybody, and we don't charge for all of this. But the reality is, how do we want India to change? Yes, I don't want an India which will be bullied by some foreign nation. I want an India where people will come and say, "Ha, theek hai. If my contract is breached, I know that I can file a case. I will get my money in 1 year from the court. I will go to the court, file a case. I know I will get my money." In today's day and age, what is happening is that same money, you have to wait 25 years for your case to run so that you get that money. And what is the ease of doing business in that? I set up a company, and this is happening to majority part of the business people. You set up a company, you do business, God forbid your contract gets breached. You go to court, and then you wait 25 years for that money to come back to you. It's like an LIC policy, and you don't even get interest. So, I mean, you need to be able to look at it with a very different lens. We cannot sit here thinking that, oh, the West did this and America did this and the British Commonwealth did this, and therefore we are going to be able to move only in this space. No, we've got to throw off those spectacles. We've got to throw off those glasses. We've got to throw off those lenses and we've got to look at a position as to where do we want to be and then work backwards. So that is the first point that I would like to be putting across.
Anyone else would like to add to the points
I think
that
I
our
think we
reflection
should
has made?
continue with the ladies in picture.
All
Let's
right.
hear their point of
Advocates
view
aside,
first. Of course, ladies first.
sure.
According to me, if I talk about the Viksit Bharat of 2047 view, see, being a disabled lawyer, I belong from a disabled category and I access through wheelchair. But for me, code is very far away. In spite being I am a PhD holder in law, but still code is not at all accessible for me. So I know these systems, we can call it Amrit Kal or we can call it a social mission and all. So in my point of view, my vision for to 2047 is for the disabled persons. If I talk about that, there must be some accessibility because we are now at zero accessibility for the disables in our courts. I think I never been to court. I'm only practicing through online and consultation and drafting and apart from visiting court. So my panelist, other panelists can guide me and can help me and can assist me that how can it be possible to get the court accessible for all if we talk about the equality for all.
Actually, a wonderful and very intense point of view, and we need that. I think as a
Yeah.
Viksit Bharat, definitely. Uh, Kush wants to take further, or should I continue? Kush, how do you want to do it?
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
I would like to listen to you. Then I'll.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
He said that you can go ahead and
Oh,
then he will
okay,
add
okay.
in
Thank you
later.
so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. See, from my point of view, as I see 2047 to be a Viksit Bharat, definitely I mean, there are a number of things on the list which we would want to see on 2047. Probably from the current scenario, from the point of view of a litigation lawyer right now, definitely the first thing which is coming across in my mind is the number of judges, the judiciary. We need a lot of judges to handle the loads of cases, uh, to be approximate 5 crores in pending right now. And we need a workforce of that kind of cases, not only a qualified workforce, but an accountable one. And along with the burden, we need to eradicate mediocrity, is what I look for when I see 2047. Everybody around, be it in the judiciary, be it in the litigation, be it in any other service industry or profession, is going by something which is mediocre in terms of quality, in terms of dedication, in terms of efficiency. And the people who is at the receiving end of the service has to just go by with, the kind of service which is being provided on the garb of, accountability or quality or whatever efficiency as we call it. So first thing is we need to definitely upgrade ourselves, not only in terms of technological advancements, but we need to be skillfully developed. And for skillfully developed, when I say, I mean, we need to be open to ideas and open to learning. If I have 18 years or 20 years of experience, 25 years of experience, or whatever, as a professional, sometimes we get very rigid in our approach. We are not ready to be open minded in terms of learning. And unless and until we open that purview to the extent that any age can help us in learning, in our learning curve, and we need to definitely feel relevant point from the point of view of the upcoming generation, upcoming juniors, upcoming requirements of the hour. Unless and until we open our mind to that aspect, I think rest everything is just on paper. So we need to be technologically advanced, skillfully upgraded, and at the same time open to new challenges and prospects to solutions, is what I feel on a broader perspective.
Advocate Kush, what would you like to say or add
Yeah.
to the
Hi.
points?
So, uh, when we talk about Viksit Bharat, technically the thing is that it is the time where we can reimagine India, which is accessible for all, which is exactly having the points of what ma'am told, that uh, delivery of justice is at lightning speed. But when we imagined India way before, when we got independence, and on the basis of what policies were made, we can understand one thing, that whenever we reimagine a country, then there are a lot of people that are involved. It is just not that we talk about citizens, but we also talk about leaders, we also talk about communities, we also talk about specific agendas and lot of things. So, for me, when we talk about Viksit Bharat and in respect to legal, I reimagine India in a framework wherein justice is served using technology at its best, and the delivery of justice should be having that speed which is judicious to both the parties, and it should not be something that gives an understanding wherein we are completely dependent on any kind of foreign technology, but a platform that is made in Bharat for the Bharat and by the Bharatiyas. Thank you.
I mean, since all of you, have touched upon judicial efficiency, the efficiency of systems, then I think the next question or the next point that I would like to kind of discuss on is then, do you think that new technologies that are coming up, like AI into law, is a big thing that is coming, um, or even talk about e-courts? Do you think things like these are what will take us to the next stage, or will take us to where the legal system is ready for Viksit Bharat? What are your thoughts on that?
Sir, why don't you start this time?
I don't know, Lakshmi ji. It's a very, I mean, I don't know. It's like a gimmicky development which is happening on the superficial level right now. People are all talking about so much of AI and e-codes and efficiency and everything. But I've also seen on a very ground level that people have become so rigid that they don't want to upscale themselves. Even when I talk about COVID scenarios, I've seen it at tehsil levels, at the revenue courts level, at a district court level also. Not only are the lawyers not very well flexible enough to understand, even the judges are rigid enough not to adapt, technological changes. AI, I think it's a long way to go when we talk about at least legal scenarios, because as of now, I mean, on the name of AI, I think everybody is just putting a polishing gel over rusted iron. That's how I see it, because everybody is trying to use AI for the purposes of selling and profitability currently. AI needs to be developed a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean, AI is basically based on the data we feed in. What happens when that data itself is wrong, which has happened to be proven many a times in the recent past itself? So, what happens if that data itself is wrong and it is just analyzed on the basis of, face value of it? At that time, like we say, it's almost injustice to the person who's getting a verdict only basis of the reliance of the AI. So e-courts, yes, I understand. I strongly believe that the change should start from the top of the mountain and then flow towards the end of it. People at the highest level, the Honorable Apex Court, the High Courts, lawyers there, everybody is ready to adapt e-courts and technological changes, right from video conferencing, attending courts virtually, all those things are there. But when we see the ground reality, where the major chunk of the cases or major chunk of disputes crop up, they are still not ready to adapt that kind of change, in the technological scenario as well. So yes, when we talk about AI and e-courts, definitely the functioning of the courts with the help of video conferencing, filing, and everything is taking its own pace, but developing over a period of time. AI, I'm still not sure how it's going to help law as in its development, because we all know that law is so subjective that it cannot be an objective observation on a particular set of dispute. There's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of interpretation required. One scenario can have, four or five interpretations coming out of it and all, and each one of them can be true to their own extent. So AI, I'm not sure how it's going to develop over a period of 2047, but yes, definitely we need that, and we still have to see gradually what its impact is going to be over a period of a decade or so. That's what my view is.
So one thing I need to add in this, in my point of view, how AI can play an important role in improving upon the notions that justice delayed is justice denied. So, AI can help in reducing the delays and loads of pending cases, but that is up to a level because it, as you said, it is an objective concept. It is a subjective concept. So we cannot say that each and everything can be done by AI.
Yeah.
And you said that court judges are not accepting it at all, I can say right now. So in till to 2047, there can be a pathway, good pathway to go through the AI for pending cases and loads of the courts.
So partial interpretation can be done by AI. Yes, that's a very good point of view. I understand that. Yes.
Advocate Lakshmi, would you like to add
I'll
anything?
add something. Let
Yes.
Kush finish.
Okay. Advocate Kush.
So, for me, when we talk about AI, I am very much interested to see a lot of impact. We manage a lot of things in AI, and specifically when we manage things that it helps us understand two most important deliverables. That first is we can use AI if we give him the exact exact things that we want out from it. And secondly, we cannot be completely dependent on it, but yet it works as a easy tool in our lives today. Technically speaking, I completely adhere to what Adhiraj said, that we don't know, it is an unknown water. And a lot of when we talk about e-codes as something which is a technological application, we see to it that even today also it is not completely being the saturation point has yet not come, right? There is still an issue wherein we see that I might people might agree here that most of the clients of ours also might not be using e-codes, right? But when we see to AI and law, I wrote an article wherein I have mentioned that there are currently a lot of platforms in other countries, but India as a country should be digging more, and wherein we'll be able to understand that the application of AI will be having lot of consequences, and there is endless possibilities, there is lot of unknown water. But it's the time wherein India should be putting the step forward in the field of law, because we have defined and completely completely defined laws which can be which can help AI to understand the frameworks, and probably the minor task of issuing summons or sending reminders for being available in the court during hearings, helping people to understand case laws better, helping people to understand what are the sections the FIR might have been lodged in, or under what section it has, the application has been made. The AI is making it simpler for them, but we might see lot of potential of legal startups here. I'll say that there is a high scope of possibility for startups in who want to do startups in legal framework, that they might be having a biggest opportunity here, because India is always seen as a user case or case study country. But I see that Indian startup ecosystem, if works on AI in reference to legal, there is a high chance of possibility. And even we as lawyers have today lot of other applications. We use Manupatra, we use lot of applications for our daily references. Even in that case, rest case is doing something really phenomenal, wherein they are uploading articles that talks about law, and lot of articles are written on what section says what. So in all these things also, AI can be a good part. And the application of technology is anyway needed in a country, and specifically country as India. This is what my thoughts are basically on that.
Yeah, so I will just touch upon a few things because I talk to different people. So I have a friend in Delhi, of course, he's an AOR. He gives me a very different perspective. And then friends of mine over here also give, practicing lawyers give me, there I also conduct interviews for our firm, so there's this flow which has happened in the last 6-7 years. I mean, 5 years since COVID and 2 years before that. You see, this generation does not read. I mean, any lawyer worth his salt in court who has come across a junior, the first thing that they will say is they do not read. What do? They take snapshots of documents, they upload it to AI. They will say that ये format में इसको draft करो, ये मेरे notes है. Very interesting to note, and these guys get it 70 to 80% right. We are shocked. There are friends of mine who are absolutely shocked. And the shocking portion is that these guys in the last 8 years, 5 years, have been able to double their practice vis-a-vis somebody who has been practicing for 20 years.
Very true.
And this is all because they are using AI, they are using LinkedIn, they are using Insta, they are using every kind of social media platform and every kind of AI that they can lay their hands on. Now the cracker is here. You ask them to read and analyze. They are unable to do that.
Very
True.
true.
See, this is where exactly the break happens, and which is why I will come back to what Advocate Adiraj said earlier. Mediocrity is not to be tolerated. See, if you are going to, and this is what I tell them in law college also when I give adjunct lectures, I said, would you go to a cardiologist who has never seen the heart before? Would you go to a cardiologist who has seen the heart only in an AI platform? You wouldn't go there. You wouldn't ask him to do a surgery on you.
Definitely.
So it is very essential that you use AI, you use tech, you use whatever it is that you want to use. But please read and comprehend and understand the law that you are going to practice. Whether it is one section, whether it is 10 sections, read the case law. Like, there are fantastic juniors we've come across. You give them the proposition, they are able to pull out case laws within 15 minutes on the point, with the proposition that you want, with the point you want. Everything is perfect. But you ask them to explain the facts and circumstances under which that particular holding came to be held by the judge, that particular ratio came about by the judge. They are unable to explain it to you.
Yeah.
Why? Because they have not bothered to read what comes before and what comes after. They have
Exactly.
not bothered to read as to what are the other cross-referencing judgments which have been maybe set aside, not set aside, upheld, because you need all that. Otherwise, you can't quote in court. See, the problem here is it's not, and this is the generation which is growing up. This is the under 25 generation. This is the generation which is going to be in Viksit Bharat 2047.
I hope Rachna is not from that generation. She's listening to it.
I'm just about. So it's all
I
good.
mean, it's phenomenal to know that we've got kids who can, in this generation, who can do all of this and who can achieve all of this. But please, then it is like, please read, comprehend, and then go to the court. Because the problem that we are facing right now in this, because we are like the in between sandwich generation.
Yes.
We were born
Right.
at the time where there was no mobile phone, and now we are in the time where all the technology is available and we are told, please use.
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
so we are the sandwich generation. So we have read, we have understood. Now we are telling the kids, please read, and they are not willing to read. They absolutely juniors telling us, "Padh ke kya kare hai?"
Exactly.
You've got the judgment. You told me to get you a judgment. You gave me the proposition. I got you the judgment. I got you the proposition. Why do you want me to read it? This
Yes.
is the question. Because
Right.
they put the judgment into chat gpt, into perplexity, into co-pilot, whatever. They will summarize it and give it to you. You have a paragraph on the judgment. Why do you want to read it?
Read it.
For all you
Exactly.
want, one fine day they'll play the recorder in court and co-pilot will explain it to the judge.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
this is just one side of the coin. Because the problem
Yes.
is here, if you have a lawyer or a junior who does not read and who cannot comprehend, what is he going to explain to the judge?
To the judge.
And God
Right.
forbid the judge does the same thing, which is happening because of the technology, because of the VC, because of everything which is available. The judges are also not putting in that much of effort of reading the brief as they should. They wait for us to explain to them, which is fair. They should hear the advocate.
Yes.
But if they do not read, because see, I'll tell you an open example. One of the judges told us, he says, I told my juniors, clerk, whatever, whoever, to get me some judgments. That poor intern went into whichever AI, got judgments which were erroneous. Okay, either they were not cited or the proposition was not correct. He's like, I had to do the research myself.
Yes. It
Now,
makes your case double. Yeah.
problem is that if he does not get the help he wants as the judge, and he solely depends on us, and we are dealing with a generation of people who are doing the same thing, and everybody's work becomes double, then you're not getting what you're saying. In future, everybody will be doing surgery on AI. Nobody will be doing surgery on human body. This
Definitely.
is the danger that we are looking at.
Definitely. Definitely.
So when we are looking at 2047, you technically need a generation which is ready to work, which is ready to read, which is ready to comprehend, which is able to establish a mental superiority. Just
Definitely.
ordinary passing 30, and the reality is, let's put it this way. You know how people become judges? We know. I mean, practicing lawyers know. Okay, people graduate from law colleges, the top cream, the people who really get the best of the marks, go into corporates, they get big jobs with big monies. The guys who are literally 50% and below, 55% and below, are the ones who literally get into the practice. The ones who can't practice end up, and that's the problem. You see, we don't want a situation wherein people say, "Arey yaar, inko nahi aata." We want a situation wherein they will say, "Arey, the judge knows far better than me. मेरे को 10 बार पढ़ के जाना पड़ेगा."
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
We don't want, and this is why I was very happy when the Supreme Court came out with the thing that 3 years compulsory you practice, then you go become a judge.
Yes. That's a very good decision. Yes.
Because you can't do, we've dealt with people doing their LLMs, judicial exams, coming there and say, they very nicely tell us in whichever is the vernacular language of the state, I don't know what is this, I have never done this before, you please tell me how to do this. We don't want judges like this.
Yes. Yes.
It is not good for the country, it is not good for the economy, it is not good for business. We don't want people who can't comprehend contract. We don't want people who can't comprehend offense. We don't want people who can't comprehend what the civil procedure is.
Exactly.
If AI is helping you do it, please use AI, but please use your brain also.
Definitely.
And this is something that I think the entire this 30 minus generation needs to figure out. Because whether you become lawyer, doctor, engineer, architect, I swear to you, the AI is not going to make the building stand.
Definitely.
But
you've got to edge the drawing properly, you've got to edge the lines properly so that the building stands and does not fall. And this is exactly what AI is going to help you do. Everybody says, and the people who are really resilient to AI, they are resilient for a reason, because they have seen this happening. You see, a lot of the
true.
court officers and everybody, they know, they're on the face of it, they will tell you that, boss, you've definitely not used AI for this document. They've
Hmm.
seen it and they're tired. They're telling you that, boss, you use whatever you want. I mean, there's a reason for why we have this entire video streaming of court proceedings. It's not because of anything else, because I think the lay person needs to know what's happening in his case. There's
Yes.
transcription available so that the lay person can read, अच्छा मेरे वकील ने क्या बोला, जज साहब ने क्या बोला, इन्होंने क्या बोला, मुझे भी तो पता लगाना चाहिए.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
It's fair, but for that fairness to transcend across boundaries, it's very essential that knowledgeable people are there. I mean, I'm not asking for super intelligence. I'm just asking you, read your brief, read your book, read your law, and then come and say what you
Yes.
need to say. It's very simple. So, therefore, I think it's a great thing to have, but at the same time, I would sincerely suggest take your brain along.
Definitely.
Um,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I had heard this saying where they said that use AI as if it were your assistant and not your
Not your
manager.
manager.
Exactly.
So,
But
uh,
ma'am, in today's time, as I see when I do drafting and all, I see all the documents with AI. Like everything is, they just type their language and they get it done with AI and say me to draft. Like this is horrible because they are not using their brain at
Exactly.
all. I'm saying
Exactly.
they even in the messages also I used to get the messages which can be type very normally, but they use AI to get it in a fancy English,
correct.
in a very fancy way. So this is very horrible part. But my concern is one thing also, that when we talk about the older generation, when we talk about the older culture of law, then there's some lacunas that they are also not reading laws. The previous generation are not also reading laws, they are just understanding laws in the court only. There are some traditions, there are some culture of the court which they are learning in the court only. They come barely and they start learning in the court. So we are in mid of this generation and this generation who is over smart and who is not smart at all.
Totally agree. Totally agree. We are in the
I
transformation stage,
Yeah, we are
and
in the transfer, and we
and
are
this
not
this
doing
is the worst
anything.
stage to be in. This is, I think, the
Exactly.
worst stage
No,
to
I
be
think it's a pretty good stage to be in. You lay the foundations for the future.
in.
We are just bridging them, the one generation to next generation, and we are just filling this gap. We
Gap.
are
Yes.
just linking the chain, right? So my concern is also that when I draft when I got a draft from before 90 wali advocates that do a draft of this. So what I see that there's some practice, the woman is still she is a victim, in spite she'll not, in today's scenario, not all the time, but for a lawyer, she is a victim. And they are drafting their petitions, their applications such a way that she is a victim. I'm not saying that they are not victim. Actually, but there are some scenes where we find that women, ipso facto, we see that women are totally wrong. But in drafting, she is the victim. So, if I'm a judge, I read that draft. So I obviously incline toward that woman. So
But I
this
think,
is
ma'am, that's what the difference between AI and human intellect is. That you have to go beyond the text because
beyond the
everybody is going to put his best case forward, whether it's a
forward.
husband or a wife. It worked both ways. I mean, that's what I have
No, no,
seen.
say
It worked both ways.
I'm just saying about the drafting part, that
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
yeah. Agreed.
before and what is after. If
Yes.
we talk before AI and if we talk after AI, that's the
Yes.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, definitely. Most definitely.
Right.
I think at best, an AI can be a good paralegal, a good intern, a good secretary.
Yeah.
It cannot
Yeah.
replace the human intellect, at least when it comes to the interpretation and comprehension of law.
Correct. I think there is a very nuanced balance there which we need to find because before there was no AI and no one was
Yeah.
using it. Now there's AI and everyone is just
Everybody is,
using it.
yes,
So I
jumping
think
to
we
it.
need to find a
I'll
balance.
tell you.
Balance of
I'll tell
where,
you an scenario which comes to me recently. One of my student, he came to me that I said, "What happened to you? You looks very dull." So he said, "Ma'am, there's some problem going on and all and all." I'm like, okay, fine. So what he said to me and let me know that AI is my good friend. I just share everything to AI like ChatGPT, and he console me like anything. So this is a drastic. Means I feel so horrible that what is going on, that he the chat gpt is when he types that I'm feeling lonely, then chat gpt is replying that I'm there for you all the time whenever you needs me. So this is like horrible part, that we are into a generation where they are supposed to do each and everything in their own arena. They don't want to tell anything to their parents or their the friends. They don't have even the friends. So AI is replacing them. So this is a very drastic situation for future.
right.
Most definitely.
Um, So, I mean, I think we have talked at length about AI, and rightfully so. I mean, it is what is the current thing and what is going to be the future. But since we were talking about the young generation stepping into the workforce, there is a new generation that has come into the workforce, and there will be henceforth as well. What do we think about the current, workforce laws, labor laws? How do they transcend and how do they transfer to the next stage, or are we do we need major changes in our labor laws in to accommodate a more developed India?
I don't think there are labor laws right now. Ma'am, you would like to take that, Lakshmi ma'am or Prashali ma'am?
You know, actually, I I kind of coordinate with a lot of my friends who appear in labor courts, and they have the same view. They are like, we don't know what's going on over there. I mean, the sad part is, I think it is sunk into the Indian psyche that litigation, once you hit any court, whether it's a tribunal, whether it's a small court, big court, high court, whoa, 25 saal chalna chahiye. So when you go to a labor court, technically it is not a court, it's supposed to be a tribunal. It's supposed to
Yeah.
function faster, it's supposed to do something faster, it's supposed to have infrastructure. In the last 20 years, labor courts, labor tribunals have had no infrastructure. you know and that is a very sad part. I mean, imagine a 2047 India wherein people are retired, people are getting into problems in their jobs, they don't have a forum to go to. Like I said, contract is breach, I'm waiting 25 years for my 5 lakh to come with interest. It's not fair. Somebody who is doing a job, somebody who is, and that brings me to that point, is a couple of, I think 2 months back, it was that guy who was some astronaut, and somebody got caught at some Coldplay concert. He was not even that guy, and he needed to sue his company, the other person, the person to taking to who took the photograph and all. He lost his job. Where does he go for restitution? I mean, if he was an Indian, where would he have gone for restitution?
Definitely, there's no forum for that, I feel.
You can't. if you are an employee who has been terminated because somebody took some photograph which resembled you and says on social media you're having an extramarital affair with
Affair.
somebody else, I mean, it, and you lose your job in the entire process because your company comes and tells you, no, you can't work with us. You have moral issues. You are morally incompetent, or whatever it is that you. Who are you going to sue? And how are you going to sue when your own company doesn't stand by you? And that's only one part of the problem. Here we have people who lose their jobs due to closure of industry, closure of company, this, that, and I mean, the people are poor. We are not. I mean, 2047 we may be a developed nation, but let's face facts. Today we are not a rich nation. 70%, just because we live in urban cities, we have seen a urban lifestyle doesn't mean people are rich.
No, no, definitely.
Everybody needs money at the end of the month. Everybody, सबका घर चलना चाहिए. People need have children. And if you are a person for some rhyme or reason, some embarrassing situation, something has happened. I mean, we are all human at the end of the day. You've been stuck with some allegation. You've been suspended from your job. Is your suspension going to go on for 20 years till the matter gets resolved?
Mm.
It's not fair to anybody. I mean, I see the problem with people going to labor courts. I mean, I myself have sorted out a matter after 20 years. Teacher school dispute. School was not ready to pay. Unfortunately, teacher lost husband during pandemic. I told the school that, boss, look, she is a very old person. Whatever it is, for the sake of goodwill, close this nonsense, close the litigation. Whatever it is that you think you need to pay her, please pay her. And they paid and they closed it. The file came to me within 6 months, we closed it. Because I felt so horrible at the fact that that poor lady, whether, see, there were substantial amount of allegations which were proven as well. But my point was that she is so old, 20 years, she is dragging herself to that court. 20 years, you are fighting. I'm for what? And what is, only the lawyers have got money out of it. No one else has got it.
Mhm. No, most
See,
certainly. Most certainly.
so, I mean, if you want to have a system like this where only lawyers make money, and then it's not going to be Viksit Bharat. So you
Definitely.
need to find a better way around this thing. Labor courts is not the way to go. Labor rules, laws, things need to change. I mean,
And
they
there's
are.
other, yeah, there's one more
Yeah,
perspective to it, ma'am. Sorry to
yeah,
interfere
tell
in
me.
between. There's another perspective as well. Now with the development of IT and startups and culture like MSMEs and all these things and all, when you see, I mean, there's also a flip side to it. Let's say you have an employee for 5 years, 6 years as a co-founder, or
Hmm.
maybe as a CEO of a company, and over a period of 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, he acquires special knowledge of the expertise of that business, trade
Correct.
secrets, all those things and all. And one fine day, maybe because of financial incentives, or
He
maybe
decides to
because of,
leave.
yeah, he decides to take all that information and just go away. And what
Hmm.
do you have? You have just your right to sue for damages. And how are you
Yeah,
going to
you have an
prove
intellectual
that
property
so much
dispute.
of, exactly, how much are you going to prove that so much of intellectual knowledge has
Exactly.
been taken away, your
Yeah.
profits, your efforts of so long, your rapport of so long, and not to
I mean,
mention your
it's a
hardship
sad.
of, yeah,
I agree. It's a sad position that you need to wait 20 years for a resolution of that as well.
that as well,
Well,
exactly.
it doesn't make sense. I mean, where is this going to stop? If and it affects the backbone of the commercial space.
Yes,
It
yes,
affects the
definitely.
backbone. If you can't give justice to a common factory worker, it affects the
Definitely.
backbone of justice for the ordinary man. I mean, look at this. In so many years, we're talking about labor laws, industrial laws. In so many years, from independence till now, the media and entertainment industry is not titled as something which is covered under industry, something which is covered under factory, something which is covered under labor laws. They have no codes, they have no nothing. Where
Yes.
do they go for restitution of their legal problems? And it's
And now we have
and
a workforce of freelancers as well coming up, gig
exactly.
workers.
Yeah, gig workers, freelancers, contract breach हो गया, कौन जाएगा? And let's be fair, these guys work from home. Okay, like for example, screenplay writer, somebody else the designing. I mean, look at it, it's 18, 21 year olds who are designing for anime cartoons, for Cartoon
Yes,
Network, for this, that, and the other. Where does an 18-year-old or a 21-year-old go to court, file court fees, put a suit in, say my copyright has been taken away? It is a very, very cumbersome process. I
yes,
think we
yes,
need to just drop all this thing and re-look at everything and change it. I
yes,
mean,
yes.
take the example of the young generation and just dump what we've got and re-establish new laws for ourselves.
True, ma'am.
Especially labor side, I think there's a revolution which needs to be there for
Because
changing the laws.
if we talk about in small towns, there are some startups which are just drawn in paperwork only.
Yes,
They have to be its global competitor and ahead, but they are just in paperwork only. So
definitely.
these are the very drastic issues. These are the big issues which need resonance, which needs to be changed.
And equity is not fair when it comes to labor laws as well. I mean, equally for the employee and equally for the employer. It has to work in equity
Very
for
true.
both of them.
Yes,
Very
yes.
true. Very true.
Because then there are no person left outside the safety of law, whether it's a factory person or a food delivery person.
Yes, yes, most definitely.
I think we are running slightly short out of time. I mean, I had way more questions to ask from everyone, but I think the main crux from what I can take from our discussion is a major pitfall in our infrastructure and in our implementation of what needs most improvement. And I would like for you to kind of give me a closing statement from your end, kind of closing today's discussion. I mean, we've talked about in general judicially what we need, what needs improvement, what technology can technologies make this better, and what about our labor, our workforce, which will eventually be the ones who will be working towards a developed country. What is there for them or what isn't there for them? So I think it's still a very well-rounded discussion, I think, and I would like you all to finish this for me with one closing statement, which you think would sum up your thoughts.
In We have read many times in our law that justice delayed is justice denied. So by 2047 India must be a nation where justice is never denied because of delay. That's my concern is.
Ma'am, please go ahead.
See, there are three or four words which come to my mind. One is India has to become proactive. India has to become inclusive. And most importantly, India has to become decentralized. We cannot have courts sitting in one corner and say, "Aapko chai pini hai, aap yahan pe aa jao." This is not what we are looking at. आपको भेलपुरी खाना है, हमारे यहाँ पे आके खा लीजिए. And this is not what we are looking at. Justice has to be accessible to everybody. We have to be proactive, understanding that, okay, this is the state of the art technology right now. How do we cover the people? How do we protect? How does the law protect the people? We have to be inclusive enough. I don't care whether you're left, right, center. I don't care what is your orientation in life. If you can deliver the job, you get the job. It's merit.
Yes,
Instead of looking for reservation and other things, we should be looking at providing infrastructure to our students, to our children, to our high school, college graduates, so that they are able to take this country forward. I mean, day before yesterday, I was watching something on YouTube, and that person very nicely says, forget about what Donald Trump has said so far. He says 100% of PhD candidates, over there are not Americans. 80% are Indians. So if an Indian wants to go to America and do his PhD there, why can't he do the PhD in India? What is stopping India from providing that infrastructure? So we need to reach out, we need to be proactive, we need to be inclusive, and we need to be collaborative across the board. We cannot afford to live in our own small glass houses anymore.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I think there are basic three things which I believe the backbone or the foundation of every economy or country should have. And when we see 2047 India, I believe these are the three things probably which will help us for the next, 47 years or whatever it is for making the next Viksit Bharat 2.0 after that. First is mediocrity should not be an option. It should not, excellence should not have any substitute. First thing first, that excellence should be a benchmark in every sector of work, whatever one does. That's the first thing that I believe. Second is, as ma'am rightly pointed out, inclusivity and accessibility. We need to include talent as the supreme requirement in terms of inclusivity. We need to be accessible for that talent to reach the outcome of a particular work. And the third thing which I believe to be very strongly affected and effectuated on the ground level is upgradation and accountability. You need to constantly upgrade yourself intellectually, technologically, economically, whatever you want, and you need to be held accountable to your actions. Whatever you do, you need to be put a check and balance to it. So these are the three things which I think form a backbone or foundation towards the upgradation of any country and make it truly Viksit Bharat. That's what I believe.
Thank you so much to our panelists for putting forth your thoughts so nicely, so beautifully. And Advocate Kush, I think, left us midway, unfortunately, but he could put in some points. But with this, I just want to thank all of you once again for joining us. Thank you to our audience for listening in. And we really hope that whatever we've discussed today is actually implemented in our country for us to actually be able to see a Viksit Bharat at 2047. And on that note, let's continue this dialogue beyond today because the foundation of tomorrow's India is being laid by the legal choices that we make in today's day. And with that, I will end today's discussion. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good evening.
thank
Thank
you.
Thank you,
you.
Rachna. Thank you, everybody.